Welcome to all my dear students. This is Dr. Sheikh Sarfraz from Infinity Learn by Sri Chaitanya. So, dear students, today we are going to discuss in this video the solutions of chemistry of IIT Advanced which you have written, 2021 recently which you have written, okay, in the month of October. So, let us start with the video solutions of it, and before I begin it, I would like to inform all of you all is that you all are having key, obviously I will also provide you the key, but the thing is some places there is minor controversies available. Are you following? Those students who are writing exam for next year, but they are watching the video solution, for them in middle I will be discussing with you concepts also, so that you may understand more easily. Okay, same problem may not come every year, but concept chances of coming are the same. So, let us begin the video solutions. So, let us see the first question. The reaction sequence that will lead to O-xylene as major product is. So, what is O-xylene first of all? What is O-xylene? If you take a ring and if you write two methyls ortho to each other, or two methyls ortho to each other is called O-xylene, meta to each other M-xylene, para to each other P-xylene. Okay, and if one methyl if you keep and one OH if you keep, they are nothing but called cresols. Are you following? If you keep both OH, they are called catechols, right? But however, let us come to the point. Okay, O-xylene is coming as a product, so we have to see. So, let us start. So, in option A, let me explain you in detail. So, I will change the page. Option A. I can show directly also. He kept methyl here, slight change. See, you may ask me, sir, you are explaining it for long time, but how can we solve in exam? In exam, I will show you direct method how to solve. I will say you look here, nitrous acid, diazonium salt, copper cyanide, cyanide will come in the place, diol, aldehyde, Wolff-Kishner reduction, this will give you the product. This one, this will also give the product. This will not give you, but you may be saying that, sir, how did it happen? Explain. Yeah, that's what. This is, see, I am faculty, I am able to solve fast, but how will you solve? I already assured you, then only you have to play on the ring conversion. So, I will show you here separately. Yeah. So, first reagent is nitrosation, that is NaNO2 and HCl. So, what is going to happen? This is going to become diazonium salt, correct? Then this is treated with copper cyanide. Then cyanide replaces the diazo group, and here you are going to get CN, this methyl not disturbed. Then this is treated with diol H. Diol H function is provide hydrogen, hydridion, and that converts the cyanide ion into this H from diol comes here, and you will get what? Double bond NH. That is imine functional group, and in the question he already defined this is subjected to hydrolysis. So, if you hydrolyze this, you are going to get aldehyde group, and this is methyl. Then he is saying that this is further treated with N2H4 in KOH. This is called Wolff-Kishner reduction, where carbonyl group is reduced, correct, and hence this is methyl, this is converted to what? CH3. So, therefore, in option A you got. Will you do in exam like this? No, in exam you have to just imagine. This I wrote because for explanation point of view, because some average students who are watching me, they may not be able to understand. Right, next question. Magnesium carbon dioxide, sorry little bit hiccups because I had just now my lunch. So, magnesium carbon dioxide and hydrolysis, second is thionyl chloride. So, let us focus on this one. So, B option is, here you have methyl, here bromine. So, dear students, if you treat with magnesium, what did he give? Methyl, yeah. Then you know magnesium is inserted here and it forms negative MgBr, Grignard reagent formation. Then this is treated with carbon dioxide, attack here, this shifts here, and here you are going to get C double bond O, this is O minus, this is MgBr. This is subjected to hydrolysis, and here you are going to get your carboxylic acid group. Then this is treated with thionyl chloride. This is SNI reaction. Reaction with thionyl chloride always SNI because internal nucleophilic attack occurs. Then you are going to get, I can write methyl here and you can also show like this, not a problem. This is Cl, correct. Next step is what? Yeah, hydrogen palladium barium sulfate, Rosenman reduction, right? So this is hydrogen palladium, Rosenman reduction, and here you are going to get what? CHO, aldehyde. And again you can see, sorry, it is treated with zinc amalgam in HCl, Clemmensen. Clemmensen and Wilkishner is different medium and different reagents, and different scientists have given, but the function is same. They convert carbonyl groups, aldehydes and ketones into respective hydrocarbons. This question is a bit lengthy, a bit long, but it is not very interesting also. In the whole paper, three questions are too lengthy. One is from electrochemistry and one is from, two from physical and one from organic. Alright, then tell me what is the next step? This is treated with what? Zinc amalgam in HCl. Then you will get your corresponding product. Ozylene came, yes, in both the cases you got ozylene. I am moving out of the screen and leaving it for just for 10 seconds. You can pause the video and copy the solution. Okay, right. So now I am clearing this, erase all, right, good. Now coming to third, because I should also say you why, actually no need to say because you got an idea and you got solution, but still why C and D is not the answer, that also we have to see now, right. So let us see this one, C, because you may be worrying what will happen to C. Okay. So this is methyl, right, and what is the first step? This is treated with borane, hydrogen peroxide. So this is nothing but addition of water according to anti-Markovnikov addition it is, correct. So it is hydroboration oxidation reaction in simplified manner, hence the product is this one. Then the next step is PBr3. PBr3 is very famous brominating agent. This is Pr, correct. Then what is the next step? Oh, sorry, zinc in dilute HCl. So zinc in dilute HCl, reducing agent, and reduction will happen. But however, are you going to get ozylene? No, pack up. So you can stop here itself. Then going to option D. Right, ozonolysis, then hydrazine base. Okay, everybody should know this is aromatic ring. Ozone can disturb aromatic ring also, but I think this is actually in exam he should have written here 1 mole. Okay, I don't know why he have done, but if he have not given 1 mole and he left like that, if you demolish all the double bonds, then 100% you are not going to get orthoxylene. Or if you try to think that it is 1 mole also, then also you are not going to get. I will show you how. Okay, look here. So oh, 1, 2, 3, 4 and this is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right. And now if you treat with hydrazine in base, then you are going to get methyl and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, ethyl. This compound you are going to get. You can stop here itself only. This only will say that further you are not going to get any product. Hence your answer is what? A and B. Right, dear students. So now let us move into our next question. Next question is very interesting, okay, and slightly minor controversy you may find. And what is that? Let us see. A scheme is given. Okay, this such type of reactions are called schemes. And here we can guess what is P actually, correct? Okay, something is P. Moving ahead, Q, hydrogen palladium, okay, reduction and giving R, we can't guess who is R. Chloroformine base, S, foul smelling. In organic chemistry, only one compound is very much foul smelling, dirty smell will come, and who are those compounds? Isocyanides. Isocyanide compound is the only functional group which is having foul smell. That means this, in this compound, okay, I will show you on a fresh page, don't worry, but some general research I will do it. Then this reaction is nothing but carbylamine reaction. Carbylamine reaction. That means R must contain NH2 group. If R is, oh sorry, mistake I have done. I am saying correct, but while saying I wrote off NC because of amino group, right? So carbylamine reaction R. Then hydrogen palladium is hydrogens are added. That means what is Q? That means Q must be some compound from which nitro group is coming, because if NO2 is there in Q, then that is get reduced and you are going to get NH2, right? Now coming to P, already what is P he has defined, and what is P we all can guess. So this is PH, CH2, this is Br. If this is monobromination, dear students, remember that. Okay, now coming to this side, toluene on chemonophore and heat and hydrolyze, everybody should know that this is very easy product, and it is nothing but what? Benzoic acid. Benzoic acid is treated with ammonia, and the acid gets converted into what? Ammonium salt, and this on heating will finally become amide. So the final answer is benzamide, and this on treatment with lithium aluminum hydride. Okay, because here the option is only lithium aluminum hydride, okay, because here W is lithium aluminum hydride now, here also W is lithium aluminum hydride. So there is no second option for W. So therefore on treatment with lithium aluminum hydride will give what compound, dear students? It will give rise to, already we defined it is having NH2 group. Then what is the missing groups? Only PH CH2. So therefore R must be equal to what? PH CH2 NH2, correct? And what is S? S must be equal to PH CH2 NC. What is W equal to? W already defined, lithium aluminum hydride only it can be, correct? What is P? Already defined, P is equal to PH CH2 Br. What is T? T is your benzoic acid, and U is equal to benzamide. Now who is left over which we have not discussed? The not discussed part is Q. Here you can see in the question in options, if you decide Q, you can decide of Q can be KNO2 or Q can be AgNO2. So if you know this, you can do it very easily. Remember dear students, in KNO2, the structure of KNO2, the negative charge is with oxygen. So you are going to get nitrites. But in AgNO2, compared to oxygen and nitrogen, nitrogen is more basic and the attack will occur from NO2. That is my opinion, because in some books controversy is given. Therefore, R phenyl methylamine, where is R? Yeah, then C can be the answer, right? Then W is lithium aluminum, V is silver cyanide. Where is V? Where is V? Where did we left off? Anywhere V, where is V? Okay, there. Sorry, here it is V. P2 direct V he is saying. So V is Ag cyanide. But you are going to get correct, because in silver cyanide also what is the case? The lone pair from the structure of silver cyanide is AgCN. It is a covalent compound between the bond between carbon and silver. Therefore, lone pair of nitrogen will attack. Yeah, you are going to get this compound, right? So I hope by this you can easily solve the entire problem. Okay, dear students. And W, yeah, this is correct. A doubtful, because KNO2 will give you nitrites as major. So doubtful. R is benzenamine. Where is R? Okay, right. V is casein. Yeah, V cannot, this cannot be the answer, because if you use KCN, in KCN cyanide is having the negative charge. So if it attacks on the halogen, okay, then you are going to get PHCH2CN. Therefore, no, B cannot be the answer. So the best answer among this is C and D. Are you following? Maybe I have seen some PDF files online, and here and there I have seen, and even my colleagues have said that A also can be the answer, but I personally deny, because of solid standard references always say that alkyl halides on reaction with KNO2 gives nitrites, not nitro compounds. Okay, right. Moving ahead from chemical kinetics. This problem is very easy if your basics are clear. Okay, so now all of you look here. He is saying that for the reaction, for the following reaction 2x. Students will generally get confused here at this 2x. Okay, no need to get confused. And one more place is there where you get confused. Let us see what. The rate of reaction of dP by dt is kx. Okay, right. So instead of speaking about the whole reaction, he is speaking about only about your change in concentration of P with time. Okay. 2 moles of X are mixed with 1 mole of Y. So moles of X is equal to 1, moles of Y mixed with 2 moles, 2 moles of X, 1 mole is Y. Okay, to make 1 liter of solution at 50 seconds 0.5 mole of Y is left, and the reaction mixture, the correct statement about the reaction is. So forget about the options A, B, C, D, don't bother about the options, later we can solve it. Okay, so first focus about the solution of it. What is the solution of it? So all of you all, shall I change the page? Yeah. So can I write like this? What is the equation? 2x plus y give rise to P. Okay, this is the equation. So for this equation, how can I write? Minus 1 by 2, y minus decrease in concentration, no need to say for you all. Okay, decrease in concentration, okay, of X by dt is equal to increase in concentration of Y, decrease only, minus only. That is, we have habit now, after saying decrease we say increase, after saying increase we say decrease, that is habituated. Okay, no problem. Decrease in concentration of Y by dt is equal to increase in concentration of P by dt. Can I write in this, if you all give me permission, is equal to K into X? Agree all of you all? Right. Now, can I write this equation like this? Minus 1 by 2 into concentration of X by dt is equal to K into X, right? Or minus dx by dt is equal to 2k into x. Can I write like this? Right. Now, dear students, this is case 1 discussion. This will help you in solving the problem. This is important. Now, what can I do? Now, if you focus about the reaction, 2x plus y is becoming P. So, how much is the initial moles? X is having 2 moles, okay, initial. So, at time t is equal to 0, this is 2 mole, this is 1 mole, this is 0, right. Then what will happen after some time at equilibrium? From here, this is 2 minus 1 and this will be 1 minus 0.5. Why 1 minus 0.5? Because he is saying at a 50th second 0.5 mole of y is left, right. Therefore, here 1 will be left and here 0.5 will be left, correct. This is scenario 2. Second scenario. Now, the third scenario will be, you have to go for the equation K is equal to 1 by T ln A by A minus X. because you have already got the concentrations, you got the values. Okay. Then if you put the values, because already I have solved it, the values, then you are going to get the value as 0.693 by 50, which is equal to 1 by 386 into 10 to the power of minus 3. This equation I am going to get. Okay. Now he is speaking about, in this another question is coming, he is also asking, where it is here. One we have solved for 50th second, now he is asking about 100 second. Okay. Then for 100 second how to solve? Then at 100 seconds what happens? Decrease in concentration of Y he is asking. Y only? Yeah. Y by dt is equal to kx. Already we got the value of k. Are you following? If you put it once, you are going to get the corresponding answer. So this is the main simple concept by which you can solve your corresponding problem. Okay. So now you can copy this, we can move to our next question from electrochemistry. Okay. So now next problem is it's from electrochemistry. This is the most lengthy problem in the entire paper. Whoever have skipped this problem and have done the remaining problems, for him I think he has saved time and he have done very good other problems. But imagine anybody have tried this and by chance they have not done properly, then I think it is not a proper step in the examination. However, in examination our thinking manner and behavior changes. So I would not like to comment on that, but let us see. Okay, so he has given the reduction potential values of different electrodes, and you know that anode always dissolves in your respective cathode. So here you can see he is saying that to a solution containing 0.01 molar of X plus 2 and 0.1 molar of Y plus 2. The metal rods X and Y are inserted, okay, and they are connected by a conducting wire. This resulted in the dissolution of X. Obviously X must be anode, correct? The correct combination of X and Y are. That means what? These terminal which are present here, they must be considered as what terminal of your anode, and these all must be considered as what? Cathode. And you have to see that in which cases your anode may get dissolved in your respective cathode. To do this, okay, already have solved before teaching you, okay, but to solve this we need Nernst equation. So according to Nernst equation, E cell is equal to E naught cell minus 0.0591 by n log what will happen? Containing 0.01 molar solution of X and Y. So X is getting dissolution of X is happening, therefore you have to write the concentration of Y plus 2 by X plus 2, or simply you can write K. And here you can see in entire equation plus 3 is not given, plus 1 is not given, plus 4 not given, therefore n factor will be what? 2. If n factor is 2, then in this everybody can see he has given standard values. From the standard values you have to find their E cell values. So once you get the respective E cell values in this manner as have calculated, then what are you going to get? For A, B, C option you are going to get, and D you are going to get negatives and positives respectively. So by this way, so once what is your target? You have to convert, or you can do like this also, no. This is equal to what? E naught cell minus 0.03 log K. Log K is nothing but Y plus 2 and this one. By this you can easily solve it, but this is, I wrote off easily on the board to save time here, but you have to solve individually and you have to see delta G, or you have to see the E cell values. By that you are going to get your corresponding answers, right. Now moving to next one, next problem. Next problem states that the pairs of complexes wherein both exhibit tetrahedral geometry is R. Note Py is pyridine, atomic numbers are given. So dear students, let me explain you the concept here. So what is the concept here? If you remember, the concept here is whenever we have enough any compound with s orbital and px, py and pz, when these orbitals combines and form sp3, then the complex is said to be tetrahedral in complex compounds, and the bond angle is considered approximately 109. Though it is never 109 in terms of coordination compounds are rare cases, but we consider in that manner. Now in complex compounds, imagine one of the d orbital is participating, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is s orbital and this is p orbital. Inner d is participating. So imagine, I will try to highlight it. So imagine this inner d is participating. Inner d is participating and s, oh sorry, I have not to use it. So this d, this is d, this is s, and the two p orbitals participating. Then what is the hybridization? dsp2. In such case, the geometry will be square planar and the bond angle is how much degrees? 90 degrees. This is the real concept by which you have to stand. This is one concept number 1. Then second concept is that strong field ligand and weak field ligand concept. So whenever strong field ligand is present, everybody know Hund's rule is disobeyed. Hund's rule disobeyed. Are you following? If there is, third point, if there is weak field ligand, then Hund's rule, that means filling of electron, is obeyed. Done? So using these 3 points we have to solve it. I will show you, don't take tension. Actually, if you are, how did I solve, I will say you. If you ask me, sir, how do you solve this? Everybody should know that by practice and by practice or by reading books, everybody know Nikhil tetracarbonyl is a tetrahedral complex. Are you following? It is not a square planar complex. Why? Because in this Nikhil, if you apply basic logic, it is having 3d8 4s2 and the oxidation state of Nikhil is 0 there. That means, and CO is strong field ligand, that means the 2 electron from 4s enters d. Hence the d orbital of Nikhil is full. Then obviously left over is what? sp3. Are you following? That means this is never the answer first of all. Achha, in both, that means this is what? Tetrahedral. Okay, this is tetrahedral TD, right? But in this is square planar. Why it is square planar? You may ask me, because in Nikhil, shall I show you? Okay, I will try to show you at least one example, because you may not feel comfortable and you may say, sir is skipping off. Okay, I will show you. Why to go orally, right? NiCO taken 4 times, at least one case if I show, wrong case or one correct case, any one case, you will understand how to work out these problems. So the first step is that you have to take Nikhil. Nikhil electronic configuration is 3d8 4s2, because oral explanation you may not understand, right? Now everybody can see the oxidation state of Nikhil is 0 there, and CO belongs to strong field ligand category. Therefore, using these 2 points, how can I show the d electrons of Nikhil? Tell me, right? 10 electrons. So therefore, anti-pairing occurs in the presence of strong field ligand, and all the electrons are filled in this manner. Now the carbonyl group which is entering will enter and form a coordinate covalent bond with these vacant orbitals and form sp3. You can see all of you, I am not saying key anywhere. Why? You know, I am trying to focus the concept and answer, solution. Got it? Right. Now coming to the next question, he gave in the option one of the tetracyanonickelate, right? Nickelate only, right? So now tell me, same concept if you apply here, Nikhil is in +2 configuration. +2 means what? The outermost 2 electrons are gone. Therefore, it is 3d8 4s0, 4p 0, correct. So 3d8, and what is cyanide? Cyanide ion is what ligand? Strong field ligand. Done. Therefore, anti-pairing will occur. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is S and this is P. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then tell me all of you all. Then you can see one d vacant orbital is formed. Can you see? So that vacant d orbital which is formed, are you following? Here who will form the bond? Cyanide ion. And that vacant orbital is left over, and the hybridization forms what? DsP2. Now according to my explanation which I gave you here, you can see whenever there is sp3 hybridization, it is tetrahedral. Whenever it is dsp2, it is what? Square planar. That means this complex is will show, okay, what shape? Tetrahedral shape. So nickel tetracarbonyl, something we have to write like this. We have to draw with all the CO groups, right? And this particular compound, it will be square planar, something like this. Got it? Right. So remaining, what you do, remaining complexes as part of your practice etc., you try it, you are going to get it. Now the next question, question number 6. The first question is correct statements. Okay, the correct statement. Sometimes incorrect will be there and we will, okay, no problem. You have to be very cautious about it. So upon heating H3PO3, it undergo disproportionation reaction to produce H3PO4 and phosphine. What is disproportionation reaction? The reaction where the central atom undergoes oxidation as well as reduction. So obviously you can see PH3 is in reduced form and H3PO4 is in oxidized form. The oxidation state of there in phosphorus has gone to +5, maximum oxidation state, right. So this is correct, yes, this reaction is correct. If you want, you can show you the reaction somewhere here. 4 H3PO3 for balancing will give rise to 3 H3PO4 because one phosphorus should come out, and this is phosphine BH3. Got it? Balancing is correct through 12, 9 and 12, correct. Phosphorus, the 4 3s are 12, right, correct. Balancing is correct. Next, while H3PO3 can act as reducing agent, H3PO4 cannot. Yeah, it is correct. Why? Because once someone is in maximum oxidation state, like phosphorus +5 maximum, it cannot act further, yes or no? It cannot become more +6 or +7. Therefore, it cannot lose electrons. It cannot act as reducing agent. Hence, it should act as oxidizing agent, where it can take the electrons. So once phosphorus becomes +5, it can take electrons and become +3. Correct or not? +3 can lose electrons. Are you following? And become +5. That means lower oxidation states are good reducing agents. Higher oxidation states are oxidizing agents. Correct. Next, H3PO3 is a mono basic acid. So let us draw the structure. Proof will come out. H3 2, this is this one, H3PO3. Wrong. 2, it is a dibasic. So this is a wrong statement. The hydrogen atom of pH bond in H3PO3 is not ionizable in water. Yes, because it is almost covalent. No, it is not. It cannot become like, hydrogen is coming out and becoming H plus, P becoming negative charge like salts, organic salts. It cannot become, because the electronegativity difference between phosphorus and hydrogen is almost negligible. Correct. I think hydrogen is around 2.1, 2.2, right. Phosphorus, I think it's around like 1.8, 1.9. So almost it is pure covalent bond. So difficult. So moving further. Yeah, this is very nice, interesting question, right. He is saying at 298 Kelvin, the limiting molar conductivity of weak mono basic acid is given at 298 for an aqueous solution of the acid, the degree of dissociation is alpha and the molar conductivity is Y into 10 to the power of 2 units. At 298 Kelvin, upon 20 times dilution with water, the molar conductivity of the solution becomes 3Y. So, Y is reference here. Okay. Now, X in one question is asking alpha and in other question is asking, we will see later. Okay. So, he is asking at 2 the limiting. So, dear students, when you read the question, here you can understand that the initial concentration is equal to C. This is first case on which the molar conductivity is given, right, and then he is saying that temperature is constant, and there he can see that he is saying that in second case you are doing a process nothing but dilution. So, at dilution it is becoming what, 20 C. So, this C and 20 C. So, at this C let the dissociation be alpha, and at this I am taking it as what, tell me, alpha dash, two different alphas. So, one is alpha and one is alpha dash, one thing, and for both Y is common. So, by using this let us see how did I have solved it. Look here, I have already pre-solved it. So, you can see alpha is equal to your molar conductivity and the infinite dilution values are given here, which is already defined, y into 10 to the power of 2 by y 4 into 10 to the power of 2. Here it is already defined, here you can see, here it is given. On cancellation you are going to get y by 2, which is equal to alpha. But what you do not know, tell me, you do not know the value of y. If you know the value of y, you can put it there and get alpha, but you have not. Then go for second case. He is saying at 298 Kelvin solution is dilated 20 times and the molar conductivity is so and so given, and already I said you the concentration is 20 C. We know that concentration for monobasic is given by the equation C alpha. So, therefore, C alpha dash, why? Because after dilution, let us say ionization is changing, is nothing but 3y into 10 to the power of 2 by 4 into 10 to the power of 2, already defined, same cancel, correct. So, you are going to get alpha dash is 3y by 4. This is the second equation. Now, once we get the value of y, we can get alpha, or alpha you are going to get y. So, therefore, we will take two cases. Okay. This is before dilution and this is after dilution. Let it be before dilution of alpha, after dilution the K value will be same, after dilution, correct, and therefore, if you substitute the values, even you are going to get here, what, tell me, alpha, and alpha once you are going to keep it there, you can even get the value of phi by solving it further. Okay, students. Now, next question. Next question is very easy. It is based upon, I will show you the concept. Oh, so sorry, it is a paragraph. It is based upon, where it is, sorry, yeah, I was searching for place. So, it is based upon the concept of chemical law of equivalence. Next question is based upon the chemical law of equivalence, which we shortcut write as CLE. What does the chemical law of equivalence states? Chemical law of equivalence states that, suppose let us take one equation, 2a plus 4b give rise to 9f something, some dummy fake equation I have taken. Then we write number of moles of A by 2 by its stoichiometric coefficient is equal to moles of B, number of moles of B by 4, stoichiometric coefficient is equal to moles of F by stoichiometric coefficient 9. Now, everybody know this equation can be more easily written as, to save time, number of moles of A by 2 is equal to number of moles of B by 4 is equal to number of moles of F by 9. In place of moles, we can write weight of A by gram molecular weight of A by 2, this is equal to weight of B by gram molecular weight of B by 4 is equal to weight of C by gram molecular weight of C by 9. if you know this simple relationship, you can easily solve the next coming up problem, okay. Because in the coming up problem he is asking weights and moles relation. So, once you get moles, there I am going to show, once you get mole you can get weight, once you get weight you can get moles, vice versa. So, let us start the problem. So, here you see. So, first he is saying that reaction of x gram of tin, already I have defined, with HCl produces a salt, tin chloride. Entire amount of the salt reacted with y gram of nitrobenzene, okay, nitrobenzene is y gram, okay. In the presence of required amount of HCl to produce 1.2 gram of an organic salt, you are good. So, salt value is given, organic salt. So, this value, the weight of this is equal to how much? 1.29 grams, done, right. And already molar masses are given here, which you have to take and study. Dear students, two doubts you will get here in this question. Doubt number 1, sir, why did you wrote SnCl2? SnCl4 also can form, no? You may ask a doubt. So, how did I came to know that SnCl2 is the answer, SnCl4 is not the answer? Because whichever salt of tin is coming, that was reduced nitrobenzene to anilinium salt. If you take Sn plus 4 in oxidation state, plus 4 cannot give any further electrons, am I right? Therefore, what will happen? It cannot reduce nitrobenzene. Therefore, the next lower oxidation state of tin is what? Tin plus 2. This is the, that is why hint is given, no, second hint. Hint plus problem, 2 in 1. And this needs balancing. So, you can see I have to write here 1 minute. Yeah, I will write here 2. Balancing is very important. Why? Chemical law of equivalence you have to apply, right. So, once you want to find x gram, what you have to do? This is weight and you can see this is in, let me check 1 second, I have done correct balancing or not, 3 tin, because already I have done pre-advance 10, this is 3 4s are 3 4 3 7 7 3 2s are 6 6 13 1 year 3 4, yeah, correct. Now you got weight and from this you have to find the gram molecular weight of the salt, organic salt. This is simple salt, this is organic salt. So, weight is given, gram molecular weight is there. From this you can easily find y gram of this. How to find y gram of this? I will show you. So, you can say weight of y by gram molecular weight of y divided by 1, y stoichiometric coefficient, is equal to weight of organic salt by gram molecular weight of organic salt by 1. So, here you can see weight of organic salt is given, gram molecular weight you can find out, and by that you can get gram molecular weight of y, you know, you can get weight of y. Once you get weight of y, you can go reverse and apply the same concept here and get the x gram of tin also. Very easy question. Calculation part is very easy, only the thing is you should know these equations and balancing, well, that is the tough part, remaining is easy part, got it. So, you can find x also, you can find y also, right. This question is also a bit easy question, 2-3 small points you should know. A sample 5.6 gram containing iron is completely dissolved in cold dilute. Let us understand the question. Already have solved it from my side because we have to prepare key and solutions. So, 5.6 gram of iron, 5.6 gram of iron is there in the beaker, okay. It is completely dissolved by adding cold dilute HCl, okay. Cold HCl you added and dissolved it to prepare 250 ml of this solution. So, that solution finally became top up to how much? 250 ml it became, okay. Titration of this, titration of 25 ml, that means from this you are pipetting out a small volume of 25 ml and you are doing titration, requires 12.5 ml of 0.03 molar KMnO4 solution to reach the end point. This is very important point where this from here, this solution requires, this solution requires. Now do you know how much is iron taken? It is in grams, but do you know how much iron, what is the molarity of the solution, iron, how much HCl is added, what is the strength of HCl? Not given. So therefore you cannot speak about the strength of the iron solution, yes or no, because you do not know the strength of the HCl. Therefore you have to find by using the given data of K mono4. So here you can see already I have find. So equivalence of Fe plus 2 is equal to equivalence of K mono4. So I do not know the equivalence of Fe plus 2, then what shall I do? 12.5, 10 power 3 why did I took? Because you can see in question ml is given. If I take ml volume, then the moles will come in millimoles. So to avoid that, to get in moles only directly, I have multiplied it by 10 power 3 into 0.03, the molarity of K mono4 into phi. Are you following? What is phi? The n factor of K mono4 in acidic medium. Very easy. On solving, you are going to get 1.85 into 10 to the power of minus 2, and he is asking in the question x into 10 to the power of minus 2. So x value you got off already from here. Same manner, once you got equivalence factor, then what is the weight of iron? You can easily find by the equation, number of moles of iron is equal to weight of iron by its corresponding gram molecular weight. Very simple problem, but average type. Okay, no problem. Now moving ahead, paragraph. The amount of energy required to break, this is easy paragraph. The amount of energy required to break a bond is same as the amount of energy released when the same bond is formed in a gaseous state. Okay, this is simple data. Let us not go to this. This is free radical mechanism of methane. This is present in 10th class books, NCERT or CBSE or ICSE, SSE also. Basic chlorination of methane is very fundamental reaction. But here he has given delta H naught, that is standard values, standard conditions, the values are been given. So using this we have to solve the problem. So let us enter the problem directly. This may come in use in coming up problem. Match the correct order of CH bond in bold in column J with bond dissociation energy. BD means bond dissociation energy. So dear students, how to solve this? There are two methods to do it. One technical, one long. Long means you have to go for physical chemistry and problem side. But another method is chemical bonding. So let us solve through chemical bonding. So dear students, in chemical bonding there is a concept that if distance, okay, why shall I go for unnecessary discussion? So directly if I say percent of S character, percent of X character is proportional to electronegativity. I think you have heard about this, correct? Correct? And if you have some basic idea, in SP percent of S is 50 sorry, in SP2 percent of S is around 33%, and in SP3 percent of, oh sorry percent of S, okay correct, no 33, sorry, in this it is 25. That means top to bottom percent of S decreases, that means top to bottom electronegativity decreases, correct? That means which carbon is more electronegative? Sp is more electronegative. That means it has tendency to attract or pull the bond. So here you can see this carbon is sp2 and this carbon is simply sp. So which carbon is more electronegative? This other carbons you see all are sp3. This is also sp3. This one also sp3. Correct? Then who will have the highest bond dissociation energy? Obviously by the data you will say, sir, S will have highest. If S is having highest, then its value must be 1, that is 132, highest number. Okay, so where is S1? Only in one option you can see S is 1. But after solving it S1 you may move ahead, but I will say you why others are correct, right? Now tell me, here he is saying that Q is having least bond dissociation energy. Okay, here you can see Q4 is saying here. We have to justify, no? Justify the my duty here is to not say the key to you. My main responsibility is concept and solutions, right. So, why is Q least? So, all of you, if you see the compound Q, this is PH, CH2 and this is H, and here if you expose it to light or heat or whatever it is, then this will form, if you expose to light, a free radical may form, if you expose to some chemical reaction, positive, whatever it is, we will not discuss into other area, then the driving force here is stability. And another reason for this is connected to a sp2 carbon, but this is sp. So, simple, we is not confused, simple is driving force is stability, that is all. So, more stable compound is coming, so the bond breaks very fast, hence this compound will show 4. Okay. Now, moving ahead. So, now in this question number 14, following reaction, methane chlorination light, already it has defined. So, initiation step is exothermic. See dear students, you apply some common sense also, always data, solution, formula not required. You know that methane is a gas and imagine it is somewhere here in this room and sunlight is falling here, light is saying hallucination. What is light? Light contains photon particle, that means energy it contains. That means first of all you are supplying energy to break the bond, and you know the amount of energy required to break the bond is generally usually what, endothermic of nature. So, obviously first one is very suspicious of nature. The next is propagation step involving methyl radical formation is exothermic with -2 kilocalories. Let us see, let us go back, right. How it is possible? Not at all possible. Are you following? Then next, propagation steps involving, so therefore ABC total goes wrong, correct. Now coming to D. Now how is D correct? Let us have to check. So what is saying? The reaction is exothermic reaction. Reaction means what? What is the delta H total for total delta H according to H law summation? Formation of methane is how much? 105. So this must be equal to 105 plus how much? 58. 58 minus 85 plus 103. 103. So if you solve this will come already calculated, already defined, 25 kilocalories you are going to get. Are you following? So overall reaction for D is correct only, right. Now next reaction, very interesting. This is one of this question is my favorite question in this entire topic. What I have written is only the reaction, but I will show you the background of the reaction. Next you can see the reaction is K3FeCN6 with freshly prepared ferrous sulfate solution. Stop here. So let us go in ionic form, that means you are having FeCN taken 6 times to the power -3 reacting with Fe plus 2. That means this will give rise to Fe, 2 comes there, 3 Fe3, FeCN taken 6 times, this is Fe2, right, produces a dark blue color PPT called Turnbull. You all know what is Turnbull. Reaction of K4Fe with FeSO4. Okay, so this is FeCN taken 6 times to the power -4 with FeSO4. Fe plus 2 will give rise to FeCN taken 6 times. This 2 will come here and this is Fe4. Everybody, if you remember Prussian blue color complex, okay, in Lassigne's test it is right. Then moving further, he is saying that the with ferrous sulfate solution is complete in absence of air. So in complete absence of air, potassium ferrocyanide is there. So since the reaction is not complete, then formation of this is possible, correct. Then which will react further with FeSO4 and you are going to get the white PPT, hence the answer is already known to you. Next, among the following, Which one is brown ring? Brown ring you have studied several times. Direct the answer is ticked there, it is D, and in this speciality is the oxidation state of iron is generally what? +1. Okay, this is very simple question of all. Next, moving further. Now, let us solve this problem now, right? So, this question is from thermodynamics and it is a very important question, and those who are comfortable with solving graphs, they will not have any problem, but those who are having some issue with solving graphs, okay, then it may have some problem. So, let us read the graph. So, you can see according to the given data, which I have read it, you have also read it and you have written the exam. So, according to the given data, two processes are there here, process 1 and process 2. So, if you read the question, he is saying, if you all of you see the process, and if you move down, you can see in process 1, change in entropy is equal to 0, correct? Change in entropy is equal to 0. If change in entropy is equal to 0, then Q reversible is equal to what? 0. Then according to the first law of thermodynamics, we can say that change in internal energy is equal to nothing but work done, correct? So, this point I have got. Second thing, here you can see in process 1, if you want to find the work done for this process 1, U by R is given, this is the difference of it. Are you following? Initial minus your corresponding final. So, here let us see how to proceed it. So, what is asking, if the work done by the gas in the two processes is same, okay, then the value of ln V3 by V2 is how much? Then what you have to do? So, change in internal value by R is equal to 450 minus how much? 2250, okay. Then this will come obviously minus 1800, you write your minus here. So, whatever is the, since change in internal energy, change in U is equal to W, then this is equal to W. We know that W is equal to nRT final by initial. So, instead of writing W, I wrote 1800 R is equal to nRT ln V3 by V2. Then for process 1 already defined, Q is equal to 0. By solving this, once I got the value of T. Okay, from there I can get very easily the value of ln V3 by V2. Okay, right. Now, next question is very easy. Okay, answer for this is given 30, but whatever. So, consider a helium atom that absorbs. Okay, so everybody know this very easy question. Okay, so it is given by V is equal to h by m lambda, nothing but the Planck's constant by mass into the wavelength. Okay, so by substituting the value, here I have converted, here only one small microscopic thing, which is basic thing, is 330 nanometer I have converted to your corresponding units. Okay. Next is ozonolysis of ClO2 produces an oxide of chlorine. The average oxidation state of chlorine in this oxide is. So, for this you all should know that what is the oxidation state of it, correct? So, what is the equation? The equation here goes like this: ozonolysis of ClO2, very simple reaction, give rise to what? ClO3 plus liberates your oxygen gas. The average oxidation state of chlorine in this oxide, direct answer, it is 6. Okay. So, dear students, I hope the solutions given by us is very useful. Even you are having solutions of other subjects also, please check our website Infinity Learn by Sri Chaitanya. Do subscribe to our channel, and second thing is that please visit our site where you have lakhs of questions, several hundreds of mock tests, scholarships and different online programs are available where it will be very much useful to you. So, students, meet you soon, have a nice day, take care, bye all of you all.